Hi everyone, it's Linnea for ThermOWeb. Today I have some fun spring cards for you featuring Deco foil flock transfer sheets, and I'm going to throw some of the Blossom Buddies Deco foil slimline toner card fronts into the mix as well. So let's start with my flocked and stenciled background. I'm using the Miss Ink Stamps Leafy Greens stencil, spraying the back of it with some pixie spray, letting that sit for about a minute so that pixie spray remains tacky but it's not wet on the back of my stencil. Then I'm going to grab my Deco Foil Transfer Gel Duo and spread this over my stencil using a stencil pal. Now, in hindsight, I could have used either the Duo Gel or the Blanco Gel. I wasn't thinking. Usually I tend to gravitate towards the Duo Gel because I don't have to bring out my laminator. I can use this right in my die cutting machine. But since I'm using those Deco foil toner card fronts anyway, I'm going to have to use my laminator. So I could have used either the Duo Gel or the Blanco Gel. It wouldn't have mattered, but I went with the Duo Gel here. I stenciled over the leafy green stencil onto white cardstock once, peeled it off, and just did it again. I'm going to be creating 2 slimline cards using each of the Blossom Buddies toner card fronts. So I took a little break. I came back actually overnight, and so you can see that these are all dry. They're only a tiny bit tacky and completely clear. You can see on that left one I have a little bit of pink transfer. I'm not sure what that's from. I may have had ink on my stencil pal from a previous project, but it's going to get covered up anyway. It's no problem. I'm going to be using some Deco foil transfer sheets. This color is Green Envy. When you are transferring flock into the Duo Gel or the Blanco transfer gel, you want to go fuzzy side down into your medium or your adhesive. You could use double-sided adhesive as well, but fuzzy side down. You want the fuzzy side of the flock to make contact with your medium. I'll just run that through my die cutting machine, and the pressure will transfer into the Deco Foil Transfer Gel Duo, and I'll have a nice flocked stenciled design. Now let's do some foiling. I have the Blossom Buddies Designer Toner card fronts, and I'm going to foil one of each of them. I'm using the Brutus Monroe Orange Sketch foil, as well as Deco Foil Lilac transfer sheets today. So I'm just going to cut a piece of the foil that's slightly larger than my toner card front. I'm using Deco Foil parchment paper as my carrier sheet. I love this stuff. I get a nice clean transfer every time. I'll run those through and then slowly peel this back on itself and check this out. This is the Brutus Monroe Orange Sketch, which is a featured foil right now on the ThermOWeb website. It's so pretty. It has this pretty sketch design in it, so it's kind of like a static-y pattern. Here's the lilac, absolutely gorgeous on this chunkier toner card front. It's hard because my lights are not natural lights. They are bright white lights for camera style and whatnot, so it's hard to capture the true color of this foil, but it is stunning in real life. And don't forget that you can use the negative pieces of these foil pieces. They are so beautiful to use on their own as well. So let's complete the cards. I wanted to throw more Deco Foil flock transfer sheets in the mix, so I have some Sunshine Yellow and Think Pink, and I'm going to cut a slimline frame for my cards. This die set is the LDRS Creative Slimline Scallop die set. I've had this for over a year now, and I just keep these 2 dies stacked together so that I can have a reverse scalloped frame. Love this die. I'm going to run this through with the flock transfer sheets just like you would cardstock. Nothing special needed there. I'm going to do some more die cutting with flock transfer sheets. I wanted to make these Mother's Day cards because Mother's Day is coming right up, but I cannot believe I don't have any kind of Happy Mother's Day or mom dies in my stash, so I'm going to improvise. I have a Happy Birthday die. This is the My Favorite Things Happy Birthday script die. So I'll cut this from the Sunshine Yellow and the Think Pink Deco Foil flock transfer sheets, and I'm just going to use the Happy. The birthday portions that are die cut, I'll stick those in the back of my pocket and just use the Happy, and then I'm going to use the Pink and Main Spring Sentiment stamp set to get my Mother's Day sentiment. Again, just cutting the flock transfer sheets just like you would cardstock. They pop right out of the die with no problems at all. I'm going to take now my leafy greens flocked stenciled background, and I'm going to decide how tall I want this to be. I messed around with a couple measurements. I ended up going with right about 2¼ inches tall. This is completely design preference. Doesn't matter how tall you make this. I just wanted to have leafy greens on the bottom and then the toner card fronts on top. So now I'm going to start assembling. I'm using iCraft Ultra Bond liquid adhesive today, and I have the fine detail tip on my bottle so that I only get a little bit of adhesive out at a time. I have already cut down my slimline toner card fronts, and I'm going to adhere those with the Ultra Bond liquid adhesive, and then I will use that liquid adhesive once again to add the leafy greens flocked stenciled background down at the bottom. And then again, using that Ultra Bond liquid adhesive, this is where those fine tip points come in handy, because I can easily get just a little bit of glue on this slimline frame and add this right over the top. I will also be adding a 1/4 inch thick strip of the same color flock right across the middle to cover up the seam line where the flocked background meets the foiled background. Now it's time to just add my sentiments on top. Again, those fine point tips coming in super handy as I add adhesive onto the back of the die cut happy flocked sentiments. I'll just line that up right above that flock piece where I covered up the seam. And then I'm going to bring in some iCraft 3D foam strips. These strips have become a staple in my craft room. They are great for when you want to add even dimension behind sentiment strips, and you don't have to cut down a whole bunch of little squares. The strips are amazing. I cut off a little piece, just put it behind that Happy Mother's Day sentiment strip, and because I am adhering onto texture, that flock strip as well as the flocked sentiment, I'm going to add just a thin line of iCraft Ultra Bond liquid adhesive. This gives me a second to wiggle around my sentiment strip to make sure it's straight, and also I know it's going to hold on tight. So here you go, 2 spring Mother's Day cards using Deco foil flock transfer sheets as well as the new Blossom Buddies Deco foil toner card fronts. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you love all the texture that's shown in these cards and that you will grab your flock in your own craft room and get to crafting. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.